Well, good evening, members of council, members of management. We do have Councilor Laura Elward joining us, I believe, from the great city of St. John's. How are you, Councilor Elward? Oh, I think
She's muted. She muted herself.
Okay,
We can see her.
we can see her. I think she's recognized us. It is 7:02. I'm going to call the meeting to order, and I'll start with our land acknowledgement. We respectfully acknowledge the town of Stephenville as the ancestral homeland of different populations of indigenous people. We also acknowledge with respect the rich histories and cultures of the Beothuk, the Mi'kmaq, Innu, and Inuit of the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. Item number 3, I would ask a member of council that we approve the agenda as circulated.
I so
by Councilor Myra White, seconder.
Second.
Second, Deputy Mayor Susan Fallow, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
If we could just get Councillor Albert, if you could hear us, if you could take your mic off mute. So we'll be able to hear you in the voting.
Or put up your
Put
hand.
up your hand.
She's
He's not hearing
got a
you.
weak,
Yeah, she's froze now.
she's got a weak internet connection, I think, to see if she can get it rejigged.
Hello.
Because we do.
Oh, you're good now.
Yeah, we got it.
She's okay.
Unmute.
Okay.
I never had trouble with that before.
It's good. We can hear you now.
Okay,
Yeah.
item number, approval of the minutes. Be it resolved to approve our public meeting minutes of council dated September 12, 2024, as circulated by the town clerk.
So move.
Moved by Councilor Darren Roberts, second. Councilor Tom O'Brien, all in favor?
Aye.
I heard an aye from Councilor Elward. Yeah, my hearing's not that bad after all.
No comment.
Sometimes.
Depends who you're listening to.
Yeah. So proclamations and delegations, I had the distinct privilege and honor to sign a proclamation on behalf of the Cadet Leagues of Canada. The town of Stephenville signed the proclamation also this week, declaring September 23rd to the 29th, 2024 as Bay St. George Pride Week. I see a suite of events taking place over the weekend. I know our Councilor Myra White took care of the proclamation, seen the pictures, and looked like everybody was really enjoying the event. The town of Stephenville proclaimed September 28, October 5th, 2024 as Cadet Week. We had our 708 Air Cadets and our Army Cadets here today with their cadet leaders, officers, staff, parents, and friends. And it's great to see, these youth groups, whether it's the scouting group or the guides or the cadets, or I know in St. George's they had the Sea Cadets. We've had the Army, we've had the Air Cadets. Actually back, date myself here now, in the 80s, 90s, I was a CIL cadet instructor with the 708 Air Cadets. Teach them a little bit about aviation and weather and air traffic control, all that good stuff. The other proclamation that we signed was the town of Stephenville proclaimed that October 2nd, next week, 2024, as Wrongful Conviction Day. It's a singular day. People get incarcerated sometimes for crimes that they did not commit, and that's got to be the worst thing could ever happen to somebody. So we'd like to recognize these 3 proclamations, and thank you, Mary Lee, for coordination of all those. Okay. Item number 7, I'm going to turn over to our Chair of Finance, Councilor Myra White, for 7.1. Take it away.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Welcome everyone for our evening meeting. Ooh, it's different. Item number 1 is the accounts payable. Be it resolved to pay accounts payable dated September the 26th, 2024 in the amount of $138,534.97. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, seconder.
Second.
Second, Councilor Darren Roberts.
I have some item. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh. I wanted to bring up the item for our containerized sanitation limited. $24,910.12. One was for curbside pickup for August 2024, $17,006.73. And an invoice for our monthly waste removal August of 2024 for $7,903.39. The other one that I wanted to mention as well, Stuart McKelvey, our lawyers. It's $47,952.05 hard to pick out. So we had a number of tip requests. Sometimes just general advice, code of conduct complaints, and general labor and employment advice. So I know it's very, very large, but I just wanted to bring it to the attention of everyone.
Okay, thank you very much. Councilor Ryan, you got a couple items? Good news.
Our monthly wastewater management contract is also including this accounts payable for $11,131.74. Allen and Skinner against professional cooperation, which was our 2023 audit, was included for $19,780. Train supply, which every month is reoccurring cost. We get our valves and piping and that type of thing. $12,083.67. And between a chairperson, Councillor White, got up, and I got up, it clears up most of the $138,534.97, which I'll point out is one of our lowest ones so far, right? So,
Doing well.
which is good.
I'd just like to add too that, because we do have 18 attendees, we have a couple of guests in our council. Thanks for coming, Brian and Laura. But, everybody has the right when it comes to legislation, comes down with code of conducts and ATIP, access to information. We are a public body. Everybody has the right. But when a lot of it becomes marginal, the cost sometimes is the same. And every $50,000 we got to spend towards legal and professional costs to have them handled from a code of conduct procedure, that's $50,000 that can't go to an air cadet league or fixing streets or water leaks. So it's just a measure to let, I guess, the public know that it's something that's outside of our control, because code of conduct is passed down through municipal affair, through provincial legislation. So I just want to kind of reiterate that. Okay, Councilor White, so you can carry on.
Item number two.
You say all
All in favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, carry.
Item number two. Item number two, approved to sign ultimate recipient Canada Community Building Fund Administrative Agreement 2024 to 2034. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, seconder.
Second.
Councilor Darren Roberts. I'd just like to mention one thing.
No, we didn't read the.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry.
We didn't.
I stopped.
Yeah, you want to read the resolution first before you can. Okay.
Yeah.
One of those days, I think.
Yeah.
Be it resolved that the town of Stephenville Council accept the ultimate recipient Canada Community Building Fund Administrative Agreement for 2024 to 2034. I so move.
By Councilor Myra White, second. Councilor Darren Roberts. I just want to say this is just a new procedure. It's a program that's been in place, but this is a little more procedural in the sense that it identifies the nominal amounts that we're going to be entitled over a 10-year period. So at least for
Five.
five.
Yeah, so it's 10-year agreement. The first 5 years are identified. So this at one time was called gas tax. It's now the Canada Community Building Fund. Just for council and for the public's information, the first year funding that will come to the town this year is $306,587. The following 4 years, so year 2 and 3 would be $319,000 for each of the years 2 and 3. And the years 4 and 5 will be $332,000 for each of those years. Also, there are 18 categories that are now able to be used for those funds. We are in the process, based on council's previous approvals, finalizing the applications for the monies that were approved from other years that have not yet been fully used. And also, if we have a project and we go under and don't spend it all, we can then have it goes back to the government account and they reallocate it to our other projects. So, but by application only. So that's the way it works.
So it's another measure too, outside of our annualized budget, because it actually, when we do the application to municipal affairs, the request comes in and it's 100% grant. On these projects, there is no cost to the taxpayer. So it's a nice little program, you know, $300,000 a year on a $10 million budget. It's a nice little bump. So all in favor?
Aye.
Councillor Ryan?
Aye.
Oh, do we have a councillor Ryan? You don't want the money, Councillor Elbert, or are you in favor with the aye?
No. No. I was just slow, that's all.
Okay, I'll recall for the, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay, carried unanimously.
Yeah, a little leg.
Thank goodness it wasn't only me. Item number 3 is a request for sponsorship, long-range small business committees. Be it resolved that the town of Stephenville sponsor the 45th annual long-range small business week in the amount of $600. I so move.
Go back out from Myra White, seconder.
Second.
Second, Councillor Dan Robb. Just like to say that being a regional center, a lot of businesses are in the town of Stephenville for this 25,000 catchment area. But small business and what this group does is so important for recognition, because in Canada, like the big companies like the Shells and the Air Canadas, they're big companies. But it's the small companies that contribute 90+% to Canada's GDP. So without small businesses, we'd be in trouble.
Now the provincial and federal representatives the same thing then,
Yeah.
because they're not helping us.
I just want to point out that we aren't in fact sponsoring the whole annual Long Range Small Business Week. We are a sponsor
Yes.
within that week, so it might read that way, but we are providing a sponsorship as part of that week.
Yeah. Okay, duly noted. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Carried.
Item number 4, a request for grant for the Stephenville Gardens Corporation. Be it resolved that the town of Stephenville give a grant in the amount of $6,336 for the town of Stephenville beautification. I so move.
Moved by Councillor Myra White, seconder.
Second.
Second, Councillor Darren Roberts, all in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Carried.
So, could I just make a point? During the committee meeting, there was also a information to the effect that the Walkaways trail support group that does the Walkaways, Paul Grenier and his group had requested some funds. In the interim, just immediately following that meeting, the report that we had requested on their financial report that basically management has satisfied that the amounts in question, they're seeking another, as we noted, it's 5,543.06, along the same lines as the one for the 6336 for the beautification. And we talked about them both together. We never had a chance to put it to the committee group, although there was a talk about the idea of putting the two together. So what we would do is an additional resolution to, and because we have analyzed, the report is validated and good, so that would be another, so that would be to the walkways, not sure the exact name. Let's see, walkways, trail, walkways, parks and trails. Yeah, walkways, parks and trails. We have their financial report and it is validated. And if council would give leave for an additional resolution along the same exact line, so it would be the town of Stephenville give an additional grant in the amount of
$543.06.
5,543. Yes, exactly. 06. To the walkways,
Parks and
trails, and for costs incurred for, and it's additionally for parks and trails and beautification that they perform on behalf of the town. These were cost overruns that occurred. They were very apologetic over the situation, but they have no other means of being able to pay that. And again, concerns were expressed about ensuring that management took a more direct role in supervising this to make sure that there's a clear understanding that we won't have these kinds of overruns in future, that the money's as allocated, and we would need to monitor them at certain milestones through the course of the year, because it's not just that you can overspend and come to council to get these extra bills paid, but these groups have no other means by which to pay these expenses. So anyway, so Marilee, did you get the wording?
I'm writing it in.
Okay, as we're going. So effectively,
yeah.
so we
Well,
get
we
it
need to
for the,
rephrase that from the chair of finance.
yeah,
And
I'll tell you what we'll do is we'll let you go through the rest. We'll have it written up and we'll present it to the chair for her to then state the resolution appropriately.
sounds good.
All right, and I'll just get the amount cleared.
Thank you.
So, all in favor? Did we get all in favor?
No, we're going to do it again.
Mr. Stephen,
No, Stephen
Barrett.
We didn't do all in favor yet, did we?
No.
Okay, so
We're gonna move
why don't
on.
you just continue while we're working on
Yeah.
facing up.
Number 5.
Well, isn't it going to be a separate one?
Yeah.
So we need to vote on number 4. All in favor, you didn't call.
Did I call all in favor? No? No. Mary, did I call it?
I thought.
Okay, I'm gonna call it. All in favor?
Aye.
First thing that happens is call them double.
We have,
Okay, I'm going to move on to number 5, a request for sponsorship for Go Western Newfoundland. Be it resolved that the town of Stephenville provide $550 sponsorship to Go Western Newfoundland for 2024 wayfinding maps.
2025.
Oh, gee, I better read the whole thing over. Be it resolved that the town of Stephenville provide funding sponsorship for $550 to Go Western Newfoundland for 2025 wayfinding maps. The maps are distributed throughout the province at visitor and information locations and travel shows throughout Canada. I so move.
move back down from our right second.
Second.
Second, Councillor Dan Roberts, all in favor?
Aye.
Hi, everyone. I just managed to join.
Okay, well, thank you, Councillor Maurice Hine. Nice to see you, connected with us here.
Still in the dark.
Can you still hear us?
I can hear, I can see you. I'm in the dark.
Okay,
We've got a bit of a storm going through here.
okay. Yes, you got my hurricanes.
Uh,
Okay,
Item number 6, approve to award request for proposal 2024-05-002 in response to RFP, request for proposal 2024-05-002. Be it resolved that the town of Stephenville proceed with the sale of 26,000 square feet parcel of land referenced in RFP 2024-05-002 as parcel C located at 137 Carolina Avenue to Boyd and Bungie Construction Limited, Post Office Box 183, Stephenville, Newfoundland, A2N2Y9 at the purchase price of $91,000. I so move.
moved by Councilor Myra White, seconded.
Second.
Second, Councilor Darren Roberts, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Item number 7 is approval to upgrade municipal infrastructure, Burton's Place. Be it resolved that the town of Stephenville proceed with water and sewer main upgrades from York Avenue to Burton Place to connect to existing infrastructure with the estimated cost of $30,000. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, second.
Second.
Second, Councilor Tom O'Brien,
Question.
question?
Back in April, we approved replacing the water line in Burton Place for roughly $27,000. Is that the same project or is it additional?
Well, it's what happened, and Matt is here who can explain some of it as well. We were approached, but what we had in that area was infrastructure that had been installed 25, 30 years ago when these places were built. I'm not exactly sure the date.
50 years ago.
Okay, well, it was a lengthy timeline and they were inadequate. And so we were approached because one point that development was considered to be a comprehensive development. However, at certain points over the course of time, council had taken on some of the obligations for snow clearing. Whenever there was a water issue in the area, it was impossible to determine which was towns and which was that in some of the nearby areas where it would connect on. So we were approached and said, now that you've put water to one of the properties that is there, this is another thing that occurred. 2 of the properties that were in this so-called comprehensive development had been sold out of it, which not the way it's supposed to be done, but it happened long before this council was sitting at the table, from our understanding. And therefore, in bringing the water and sewer of one of those properties up, we then had an available piece of infrastructure that could feed the other houses in that development. So maybe Matt, you could take it from there and as to what it made sense to do at that point and the 50-50 basis of how we've gone ahead with this.
Yeah, so to run the water, the sewer line up through Burton Place, which is the street, was, estimated the quote, I think, around 23,000. At that point, it's like a normal street, even off the curb stops off each of the residential areas going up through. At that point, the developer is taking from the curb stops out to actual development. At that point, and his cost of that is roughly around the same, so it's almost a 50-50 split, which fixes the water and sewer issue going up through there. Another important piece on it as well is that it's not zoned comprehensive development, is actually zoned residential medium, which actually, to that perspective, in our development regulations, it states that providing, serviceable, adequate service to those lots is also required in our development regulations as well. On top of the town already taking on the snow clearing, it really, looks at it as it is, a residential street.
So we won't have any future,
No,
Well, no, what do you mean? No, any-
well, we had one in April, we're doing $27,000.
Yeah, so
Another 30,000 upgrade now.
this is a continuation from the installation that took one of the houses on that street that had severe problems, but it took some digging as to exactly what had happened over the course of time, thinking there might have been a comprehensive development agreement. No such one existed anywhere in the town's files. There was anecdotal information, some of which came from councillors here, about the circumstances of the fact that we've been plowing the roads there for 20 plus years, from what I can gather. And on that basis, along with the zoning, we really felt we had the best potential bang for the buck. So just to extend from the line that we'd already installed, we were thinking it was going to cost $300,000 to $400,000 to do it, and the town using its own forces plus the cost of $23,000 for materials, we can offer that service to those houses and improve them from the current 1-inch line.
I got no issue with it. It's just that I want, if there's more common regarding Bird's Place, they should solve the problem or issue down there.
And just to add to this.
Make sure we do it right.
Just to kind of bring a little bit of clarity to it, it's by completing this now, we have adequate infrastructure on Burton Place, which is a road that we own, plow, pick up the garbage. Before, it was an undersized 1-inch line that went into the back of the property, but our only cost is taking it to the road, the developer who owns the 16 units. So really, when we did that, as you mentioned earlier, that took care of one water problem in one home. This next step that's going to is 16 home. It'll do the whole complete street, and it'll solve a problem that. And when we say, I would go on record to say that was put in 60 to 70 years ago.
Yeah.
When Bill was saying it should have had a comprehensive. The word comprehensive development plan wasn't even existed probably back then.
Oh, that's all I want to make sure that we finally resolved the problem down there.
Finally. Yeah.
Okay.
And you know what? I got to give a lot of credit to our Department of Engineering and Matt and Mark and the team, Public Works, because they found a way to make this happen with the least expenditures associated with it. And we got a lot of happy people that now have normal 40 PSI water pressure as opposed to 20 PSI.
They will, yeah, once it's completed. And, you know, I think it's going to be good for that area, you know, overall new water pressure. Some of the properties there barely had enough to make their washer work, you know, so it's going to be very helpful.
And the other bonus too, not saying that there is a water leak, but if it's 70-year-old infrastructure, there was probably a chance that in those 16 units, there could have been some water leaks. And I'm sure the scan will identify that once the final documents come in.
Would that become a deadline? Would that become a deadline at the end of that street or what?
yeah, they'll end up capping that off, right?
Yeah. So there is a sewer line which goes from there over towards York. I think it was toward York Street.
Yeah.
And that one is the old fabric, some call it like Donnacona piping. And our town ended up having to respond before to that. And it was just a matter of time before that would disintegrate to a point where we would have possibly 16 displaced persons and their households.
Yeah.
So this will allow us to hopefully get ahead of that.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so
I have a
rules of procedure here.
Did
No,
you
we have
get voted on?
here, Susan. Wheeler.
I have
Oh,
a late item.
So we have a motion, a seconder, all in favor?
Oh,
Aye.
aye.
Carry.
Okay.
I have a late item, number 8. It's a request for grant, Walkaways, Parks and Trails Committee.
And that's planning.
Yeah, no,
No, it's asking for.
7.1 we can call it.
Yeah.
Well, seven-
Okay, 7.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Councilor White.
Okay. Request for a grant, Walkaways Park and Trail Committee. Be it resolved that the town of Stephenville give a grant in the amount of $5,543.06 to the walkways, parks, and trails for costs incurred for the town of Stephenville beautification. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Marowitz, second. Second, Councilor Tom O'Brien. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
That is our last item on the finance.
Okay, so, Deputy Mayor Susan Powell, I think we have one item of planning and traffic. Do you want to handle that for us?
Sure, I can. Yep, just one item, discretionary use outline planning permission. Be it resolved to approve outline planning permission to refurbish the existing digital clock and install a new 50 by 80-inch digital monitor located at the intersection of Main Street and Queen Street. I so move.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Susan Powell, seconder.
Second.
Second, Councilor Myra White. I just want to say this is it was the former Rotary clock that the Kinsman Club has asked to take over. And it's going to be utilized for businesses and non-profit groups. And it's going to be a great addition. That clock hasn't been working for several years now.
Yeah.
So it was time. So on that note, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, carried unanimously. Is there anything late for planning or finance? Mr. Ramsey.
No, we do have, it's not planning and finance, no, it's under unfinished business, but it's not really unfinished. We just want
Okay,
to
so,
give a little report on our water.
okay, sounds good.
Afterwards,
So,
and Matt is-
I'll bring it up under new business.
Yeah.
So bylaws and regulations, nothing for today. Let's bring it up under unfinished business. Mr. Sims.
Yeah, so, just give everyone an update. So our water leak detection is, going off very well. And I think when me and Ara, had a conversation last week, when Ara first started in February, town was probably using closer to 1,500 gallons per minute. Now on our SCADA system, we're getting down to 1,100 during the day and 900 at night, which is pretty significant. Usually our wells produce anywhere from 400 to 500 gallons per minute, so we're almost down to the full amount of the well already. We had a second scan of the Stereo data, which our dedicated leak detectors have gone out in certain ice cycles areas, so our public works guys are doing a tremendous job. We have a dedicated group that's using the correlating system at all times. So if anyone sees them out and they're scanning the road, they're looking for potential leaks within the area, and it's something that we've had a dedicated crew going through all year to look at it. So for our town, our size, where we're doing really good stewards of our own water, which we should be and maintain infrastructure. So that's off to the public works guys for sure, but it's definitely making a pretty good impact. I think around, what was it, roughly the math, around 30%.
Yeah, we figure approximately a 30% savings in water use,
Yeah.
which, and because we're not really using a lot of chlorine, our water is such a good quality of water, but so there's not the chlorine cost, but it's just the general cost and wear and tear on the wells. And now we're putting new wells in, of course, we're getting to that point, trying to get some cooperation from the Public Procurement Agency to proceed quickly, because things happen. We had one well go down 2 weeks ago on a weekend, and take that one out of our system, and we may not have had enough if we hadn't been doing the leak detection. And now we put that one back online with some repairs that the Public Works Group did phenomenal job on. Now the next thing is, of course, we've got to get some of the new wells that we've identified locations for and proceed with the municipal capital works portion of that. So we're doing a managed program to try to get to a point where we don't have to be fully slowed down by the municipal capital works requirements to go to full tender. We want to utilize the skill sets of our agent, which is Frac Flow, and we can also buy the materials through our canoe procurement program. So really, and we're getting ready to do another major piece of work with our capital works crew. So they're saving us huge on things that they can do, and it takes good planning and work management through Frac Flow. They've just delivered today a program for the repair of one of the wells that we need to do. So it's ways of saving that's going to produce benefits for the town and lower the overall cost.
The repairs should be help capacity on.
Yes, yeah.
You know, with competent staff, with innovation, and with a work ethic to make this town a better place, we're starting to see the benefits. So accolades to our team. I just got a couple of things and then I'll open the floor to any new business. I just want to say it was a welcome sight to see the British acrobatic demonstration team in Stephenville the other day. They had planned fuel stop, but while they came in, they did a show for the residents, and they seemed to enjoy the crowd that went to the fence and spoke to the children, and it was nice to see. The other thing I wanted to mention is we did get a confirmation this week that Russell Heights, which is another area of infrastructure where there's water pressure problems, the tender has been awarded to Marine Contracting to get that work done. I think it's about 1.5 million.
And we have a contract for you to sign after this.
Oh, do we? Okay.
For that.
Yeah. Wonderful. Okay, so that's good news.
When's that work gonna be started and
Trying to get it, they're itching to get going. They want to do it right away.
and time frame?
I would say early next week. They're ready to.
No, no, I got.
And then the amount of time,
Yeah.
I would think we're looking at 3 weeks, but you know, it depends on what they put into in the way of deploying forces, right? And you've seen a lot of the work they've been doing out on the highway. A lot of that's done now on the Trans-Canada. So hopefully they'll have the resources to make that happen quickly.
The other thing I want to mention is it's a long weekend for Canadians. It's the federal government holiday for recognizing reconciliation and what has happened to our Indigenous populations. And we've witnessed, you know, the unmarked graves. We've witnessed the travesties of Indigenous women at a high ratio of homicides that happen in this country. So this is a very important weekend for our community and our country and for the healing of Indigenous people.
This is the other
Glasses, thank you. So let me go ahead and read this. The Truth and Reconciliation Commission, TRC of Canada, was established to document the experiences of Indigenous people who attended residential schools and to inform all Canadians about this history. The Truth and Reconciliation Commission operated from 2008 to 2015 and aimed to promote healing, reconciliation, and public awareness of the atrocities committed in these schools, which were government-sponsored religious schools established to assimilate Indigenous children into the Euro-Canadian culture. The Commission published 94 calls to action, urging all levels of government to work toward repairing the damage caused by residential schools and moving toward reconciliation with Indigenous people.
And so there's also the orange, people encouraged to wear orange on the Truth and Reconciliation Day. And additionally, even tomorrow in the workplace, if in fact anyone is able, wear orange in the workplace is recommended. So we are going to try to make sure that happens here.
Okay, thank you very much for that. The other thing I wanted to mention is next week, October 3rd, Energy NL is holding a supplier logistics management session in Stephenville. And I think it's the first time Energy NL has ever done this. And it's because of the mega projects that are happening here, from Triple Point to Atlas to World Energy to CMEX on the Port au Port Peninsula. These projects will require a lot of tertiary companies, a lot of logistics, supply management, and so forth. But it's really nice to see Energy NL in Stephenville hosting this event. And you know what? I'm kind of thinking that we may have played a role in this with our business synergy session that we held in June, which was very successful. And thanks to Mary Lee and the team that put that together. I'm still hearing good things about that. So is there anything else under unfinished business, anybody?
So we have just one thing to inform everyone of. We had a session organized by municipalities, Newfoundland and Labrador this week. There were two companies that are in the business of supporting municipalities to try to ensure that housing developments are done from an affordability perspective and also taking into account the social side of housing. These two groups have been offered to us for us to work closely with and try to help, not just from that perspective, but all housing developments that may be needed for the community of Stephenville. We'll have it prepared for a future announcement, but they're already going to be through Matt and our economic development officer, Mike Ratter, are going to work closely on some planning.
Okay.
And they've offered their services, which is something else we've been able to negotiate for free at this stage. Eventually, at some point, they may be involved, but at this stage, working towards an RFP that we will develop for future housing that will include affordable houses as well as all levels, mixed developments, and tapping the resources of Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation and other agencies, federal and provincial. We do think that, and we're going to make the case to the provincial government that with both the province and the federal government coming to Stephenville and making a large contribution to future project development here, the town of Stephenville, we can't do it on our own. We need their support financially to do this kind of thing and get the housing inventory of the area built up so that we can accommodate these projects over the course of the next 2 to 3 years. So anyway, that's our hope. We'll bring the details for council's review at a later time, but we've already managed to engage them, and one of them is in Halifax, and they're called Everbloom Homes.
Okay.
The other one is called Pivot Homes, and they're out of New Brunswick. And a really interesting story. They took a small town called Makowik, and they had a population of 680 people, and ultimately did a 280 home development in the Makowik area. So that's, and with a huge percentage of affordable homes, suit the community. It was more of a rural type of situation as opposed to something like we just see an announcement this week of happening in Vancouver, where they've got a major project where they're saying 60% of market rent. But of course, Vancouver's prices are so outrageous compared to what it would cost here.
Yeah.
That 60% is still something that's unaffordable for the average family. So anyway, that's for a later time, but just wanted to make you aware of it.
That's great news, great work on the team. We know affordable housing is important. We have an aging population, low socioeconomic, that's hopefully going to change over time. That's our goal too on the economic front. But a little tidbit of information to Newfoundland and Labrador, there are more home owners than any per capita in any province in the country. Anyways, on that note, if there's anything else, if there's nothing, I would ask a member of council, Councillor Tom O'Brien.
Hello.
Hold on, we're gonna just hold it for a minute there.
Councillor Elbert has something.
Councillor Eller.
Yeah, you can hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
I just want to say that the Sir Thomas Roddick Hospital Foundation had their radiothon today.
Yes.
And the total at the end at 6 was approximately 23,000. But there was a lot of other pledges, that came in that had to be read, and there's also people that are coming in to pay pledges after the event. So we're hoping it's going to be a little bit more. But anyway, they had a good crowd of volunteers at the hospital today. So that that meant that Dr. Crochet and Daniel Shea and people in management could go on and speak to the public. So Dr. Crochet and Daniel Shea did a good job of explaining some of the services and things like that. And I went on about 5:30 and said a few words as well.
Anyways,
So
we
I
want to
need to thank everybody for all their donations and everything today.
Okay, we want to thank the foundation for organizing and raising money for equipment for specialists, doctors, nurses to ensure that they have life-saving devices for what we need. I gotta say too, we had a good staff representation down there today. I've seen Mary and Lori and Candace. Was there anybody else? Three of you, yeah. Okay, I got them down pretty good. But it was nice to see I went down and gave our check for 1,000, Councilor O'Brien. So on that note, enjoy your time in St. John's with family, Councilor Aylward. And Councilor Hines, I hope you stay safe with those storm systems.
I hope so too. We're on our way to Nashville tomorrow.
Okay, enjoy Nashville. I've been there twice.
Okay.
Okay, on that note, I would ask the member of council to.
So moved.
Councilor Tom O'Brien, seconder.
Second.
Councilor Myra White, all in favor?
Aye.
It is 7:48. Adjourned.
Have been reversed.
Or even surviving here.
Kind of late.